Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Jake here with you on another edition of Demko Modelworks. This is part 2 of the Star Trek 1/350 scale polar lights, the classic edition, classic series. And if you remember the last time you saw me, I had one of the I believe it was the starboard side body all together. Had the wiring done and everything in it, and now I've gotten the entire secondary hull together. This if you've never built this before, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. But this, I guess the deflector housing, you have to install on one half of the secondary hull and then close it together. You won't be able to get it in there once you close it up, so you have to install it in one half. But I've gotten all my lighting done for the interior, and just let the tape dry overnight. The glue, sorry. And put tape on it to hold it shut. And if you're wondering what color I used for this, and I don't have it with me, but this color here, if you remember, I made up my own, and I know this is in a barbecue sauce bottle, but I made up my own color, and it didn't really want to stay together very well, so didn't want to stay on the ship very well. So I found out that the Mr. Surfacer super fine gray primer works real well on this, and in the camera it shows a little bit of a brownish gray, but in reality it's kind of a real pretty, it's a real pretty gray. So I'm very pleased with it, the way it turned out. And so I've got my seam work to do, and once that happens, once I get the seam work, I'll go back through and do a touch-up spray, and then put in my little dome here, and there's one more little beacon light right here that goes into, and then let me flip it over on the bottom here. But I have my that piece in there, and what I'll do is I'll use my my normal putty here, the squadron putty, to putty over this, and then I'll just use my 3M spot glaze putty right here to putty over this, since this is not a load bearing. It is a load bearing, but there are braces on the inside to where it's not going to be too much of a load bearing, especially once excuse me, I'm trying to put this back on, especially once the saucer gets put on. It'll balance out real nice. So, but anyway, let me hook up the power here, and I don't know if I can get the cords untangled. It's definitely Monday morning. Let me get the cords untangled here and set up and ready to go. Hang on just one second. There we go. But you can see there that they have come through. Now let me turn my light off here so you can see in a lower light. You can see how real pretty the lighting turned out on it. I'm very pleased with it, the way it's turned out. And I'll flip around and show you from this angle down inside of it here in a second. But I have all my windows on the side here blacked out the way it shows on the box, and then back over here in the back I have my green window on either side done, so in the green. So next step I'm going to be working on is the neck, and light. I've got it already painted and light blocked and ready to go, so all I got to do is just put the wire in. So like I said before, this kit, you're gonna have problems with it. There's just no getting around it unless you don't put the shuttle bay in there, simply for the fact that there's just not a whole lot of room in there. If you're gonna do your first ship, that's fine if you want to put it in there, but be be prepared to do a lot of shaving on either side of the inside of the secondary hull, and you're going to have to cut down on your shuttle bay as well. But I've gotten all my you know, the shuttle bay doors on, this landing light. I'm going to have to dim this down a little bit. It's not as bright in person as it is on the camera, but what I did here is I just drilled out these holes and used canopy glue and let that set. And the reason why I use canopy glue is because canopy glue has a little bit of a haze to it when it dries, so that way it's not, you know, real crystal clear, so it will give it a little bit of a diffusion on the lights. And let me put my thumb over here so you can see into the shuttle bay, and let me see if it'll zoom in a little bit. Let me get as close as I can without the camera unfocusing, but you can see that everything's lighting up real nice and bright on the inside. And you can see on either side of the shuttle bay I'm going to have some light leaks. Basically I'll take care of that with canopy glue, and then go back through with a little bit of paint and touch it up, and it'll take care of that. And then I still have my dome up here. I put a little 0603 white SMD right in here, and that lights up, it uses a dual purpose. It lights up this little window here, and then on top it'll light up that beacon right there on the backside. So but I mean, it's coming along really nice. You know, gonna have some putty work to do to it around the seams and whatnot, but not bad for my first ship, my first TOS. But now I'll take you around in the back, and you can see, and there's quite a bit of room on the inside here to where you can still run your you know, still run some wires down through the back side, through the pylons, and up through the front. Basically, you can pretty much run everything all right to this spot and tie it all in, and then that way, once you put your saucer and stuff on, you can even pretty much mount your board, just set your board down in there, and it's not going to go nowhere. There's plenty of room in this, not like the refit where there's you know, the shuttle bay comes all the way almost to the front of the ship, and then you have your arboretum and everything on there. So this is, you know, real wide open, and you can have a lot of room to put stuff in. So but anyway, that's it for this ship. Let me turn my light back on here, and move this out of the way, and I'll show you what else I've been working on. I had to wait for some masking to come in to work on my client John's Enterprise B. Just got a little bit left to do on the saucer. The bottom side, I've got to do some paint work here on the center, right there in the sensor, the planetary sensor dome, and that inner ring. I'm going to have to redo some of the paint. Some of the iridescent paint came off, and then go through and paint my details on that, and then put on the registry, and then put the phaser banks on. But I have the top just about completely finished. I still have to paint the phaser banks on, and but I have everything else pretty much finished. I got to go back through and paint the bridge dome. I'll probably paint that like a metallic silver, or silver of some sort. And then I have the impulse engines here on the back that I've got to finish painting and put the red on, and then, you know, the lenses in the back there. But everything else, oh yeah, and then the impulse crystals on the impulse deck, I've got to paint them blue. So, but as far as that, this baby here is almost through. I do wish that they would come back out with this kit, and I wish they'd put some window decals in here. Now you can, if you want to, use the Excelsior windows if you have the decal kit for that. you can use the Excelsior windows. That'll probably work for these, and I might put those on there. But as far as, you know, everything else goes, this kit's it fits pretty well. Haven't had any fit issues with it yet. I've heard a lot of people say there's some fit issues with it, but I haven't had, you know, I haven't had any fit issues with it. But I'll zoom in and bring you up to see if you can see that Aztecing there. I love how the Aztecing there just makes this model pop. I'm really pleased with it. What I did is I ordered, if you're wondering, and I don't know why my light does that. I have to apologize for that, but I'll have to. What I did for this, for the paint masking, only comes with just the main Aztecing, which I painted blue, and then I went back through and I ordered some paint masking from Lou Del Maso Aztec Dummy, the 1/1000th scale Reliant Aztec masking kit, and that is the only masking kit that comes with the random pattern masking for the saucer. And I don't know if you can see it or not very well, but you can see the gold and the green and the red in there. But that's what I did, is I just, you know, ran it through each color, and each time I laid that piece down, I did the gold one way, and then I moved it a slightly different direction for the green, and then I moved it a slightly different direction. You know, I didn't set it down in the same spot every time. So, but it turned out real pretty, and I'm real pleased with it. This should be, you know, ready to ship out by Wednesday at the latest. On the secondary hull, I have his neck installed. I had tape here to let it glue overnight, and I just have a couple of things I got to put, repaint these, and I'm probably going to be using the decals from the decal sheet. You know, put these color back down in this slot, and then just kind of repaint these, and then I can get ready to seal this, and then I can start putting my decals on. I did have the stripe painted here, but I just did not like the way that the Model Masters Duck Egg Blue turns out. It's almost kind of a mint color, and I don't like that. And the colors of the ship, I'm going to end up using the decal sheet from, and I'll show you if I can get them off. I'll show you the set that you can use for this, which is this set right here, the Excelsior kit. It has, you know, the I'm not sure what color blue that is, but then it has the darker blue. It has I guess the robin egg blue on there. It has all, you know, all the markings for the pylon assembly, and then you can see the bridge there. I mean the BC deck and all that. And here's those pieces that I'm going to put on right down here on the bottom side right here. Once I'm going to repaint those white, you know, tape it off and repaint it white, and then I might end up just using a little piece of this right here. I've got a spare set. I might just put right down in here to make that look, you know, make the blues match a little bit better. But that's that set there. But really all I have left to do on this is basically just put the gloss coat on the secondary hull and start putting the decals on. And then I have the pylons and nacelles to do, which won't take long. It's just more or less the time pulling the masking off the masking sheet sets and getting all those organized and everything. But that won't take long. That'll take me a couple hours to do. But then we can start assembling this and you know, getting it ready to ship out. So we'll come back with a update on this and an update on my 350 TOS, and go from there. So that'll wrap it up for this video episode, folks, and I'll be posting this later on today. It'll be up this afternoon, You can also catch me on the progress on it on both of these on my Facebook page group, Demko Modelworks, or on the main feed, and go from there, folks. So that's it. We'll take care, and oh yeah, and probably the next time you see, once I get the seam work done, I'll start laying in the I have some Aztec masking, you know, the masking sets for this from Cameron's Decals and such. I'll probably put those on and going from there. So until then, so we'll see you next time. See you around the bend, and happy modeling, everybody.